the new Toyota Tacoma, the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, you know, the big redesign that we're all supposed to love, apparently is out of reach and out of touch. You know, I did a video recently about pricing on this new Tacoma, and that was, by the way, the Toyota audio system, I guess, kicking on. I must have said a word it thought it recognized, I don't know. But anyway, I did a video recently about the sales numbers that were just released by Toyota, and they are pathetic. 8,310 sold in the first quarter. That's absolutely absurd, especially since they're being beaten out by Nissan of all companies. Although I guess I shouldn't really be surprised, because a lot of you folks out there stated that you were going to go to the Nissan Frontier, and apparently you are. They're outselling Toyota by quite a little bit, I think. It's got to be shocking for Toyota, and what's going to be interesting is whether or not it continues. But what can Toyota do realistically? I mean, certainly they're not going to just sit back and let this happen, right? Well, there's a few things they can do. The obvious one, and the biggest one, of course, is price reduction. You know, everybody is up in arms, and rightfully so, about the higher price of the new Tacoma. It was kind of shocking when Toyota first announced pricing for these new trucks, right? I mean, add to that rather, the dealer markups, all the options and things that they're adding for more money, and you're into some ridiculous numbers for a mid-size pickup truck, right? Now, I think that kind of hurt sales, obviously, of the new Tacoma to begin with. You know, the dealers, I think, if they wouldn't have jumped on the aftermarket adjustment train, they probably would have been better off. But they did. And that put a sour taste in the mouth of all us buyers, right? I mean, I had said way back that I would not pay an aftermarket adjustment for the price, or rather as part of the price of the new Tacoma, and I did not. And that's one of the first things that I told the dealership that contacted me about buying a new Tacoma, was that I was not going to pay an aftermarket amount. So they knew that to begin with. And honestly, they were a pretty good dealership in that they dropped that right away. It was never an issue. However, I did have to pay just about MSRP, which of course is higher than we paid last year, or on the third gens anyway. And I wasn't real happy about that, but given where we are with pricing and everything else, and it being a new truck, faster, better suspension, I thought, yeah, the value was there for me. So obviously I went ahead and bought the truck. We're sitting in a 2024 Tacoma right now. So first thing they can do, lower the price. How do they do that? Are they going to lower the MSRP? I guess they could. But my guess is what we're going to see, and what we're already seeing a little bit of, is that they're going to offer incentives and rebates, things like that, to get the price down a bit so that people will be more attracted to the truck. You know, I did a live stream the other day, and I asked, you know, how much less would the price of the truck have to be for you to consider buying it? And I got anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 less. Now, honestly, I don't think you're going to see $10,000. You know, if you're talking about let's say a TRD Sport like I'm in, you're going to be looking at somewhere around, at a $10,000 reduction, about $37,000 or so. Do I believe Toyota is going to hit that? Absolutely not. I can't see that happening. But if they were to or lower the price by, I don't know, let's say even $3,000, you'd be more in the $44,000 range, and then $5,000 would put you down in the $42,000 range. I think a little bit more palatable for anybody out there who's looking to buy the new Tacoma but not willing to pay that price. Now, the other thing that comes into it when you're talking about pricing is financing. Right now, the way the economy is, interest rates are horrid. I mean, you have to look at that too, because that's going to affect what you're paying every month, right? And obviously, the more you finance, the more you're going to pay. So I think another way out of it, and I think it has to be coupled with pricing, is Toyota has to offer lower rates as an incentive. You know, to go through Toyota financing or whatever and offer a 0.9% or even a 2 to 4 or 5% would beat where we're at right now. I would suggest, by the way, that you explore options when you are looking for rates. A lot of times through your own financial institution, credit unions, things like that, you can get a better rate than what maybe Toyota is going to offer you through their other banks, not necessarily their own financing company. And also, if you weren't aware, Toyota does offer financing through other avenues, so you might want to maybe check that out. I've got a vehicle behind me and I have to make a turnaround. We've got the road blocked here, and I've got a truck who apparently, look at that, he sees me turned halfway in the freeway or the road and he just keeps going. What an arse. And oh, they're going to go ahead and break the street closed. You know, I should have known. I heard earlier out here that a telephone pole fell down. And they're not. They're turning around just like I did. You see how people are? I mean, if he was watching ahead, assuming their vision is good enough to see that sign across the road, he should have just stopped and let me turn around. Whatever. Anyway, back to the main topic. Incentives in the form of lower finance rates, obviously, could help maybe kick the sales of Toyota a little bit. But they have a bigger problem, I think, beyond pricing, if this matters, and that is the 4-cylinder turbo. There's no way around it. I mean, if you don't like or want the 4-cylinder turbo, the Tacoma is not an option for you anymore, no matter what the pricing is. And it's funny, I do hear people on the channel say that I wouldn't take one of those trucks, that 4-cylinder turbo, if they gave it to me. And I'm like, yeah, sure you wouldn't. Who wouldn't take a vehicle if they gave it to you? I mean, at worst, you could turn around and sell it and keep the money, right? That's craziness. Anyway, those are just really a couple of things. I think the only things Toyota can do: lower the pricing and offer incentives in the form of lower interest rates to get people to go ahead and pick up the trucks. And I think you have to do both. I don't think lowering the price or even just the interest rate alone is enough. It's got to be done in tandem. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this. If Toyota lowered the price and offered better financing rates on the truck, would you be interested in buying it? Is it something that you would pick up? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.